राइट हाई एवरीवन वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड. बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन मुझे आते हैं एग्जीक्यूटिव मैनेजमेंट क्या सीन है यार. ये मेरा उम्र हो चुकी है 29, 30, 31, 9 साल एक्सपीरियंस, 10 साल. शुड आई बी परस्यूइंग एग्जीक्यूटिव मैनेजमेंट फ्रॉम IIMs? शुड आई गो अब्रॉड? शुड आई डू अ वीकेंड एग्जीक्यूटिव मैनेजमेंट कोर्स? शुड आई डू एन ऑनलाइन कोर्स? टुडे आई हैव गॉट विद मी प्रोफेसर शिबानी जी. Shibani ji is the deputy director of IEMB program at SDA Bocconi. Hi ma'am, welcome on board.
Hi. Lovely to be here. बोलिए.
मैम
एजुकेशन और एज का क्या लेना देना फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल?
मैम है लेना देना. व्हेन यू ग्रो अप, आई एम गेटिंग ओल्ड राइट नाउ. व्हेन यू ग्रो अप, आई लाइक टू लर्न. आई ऑलवेज लुक फॉर सम ऑफ द प्रोग्राम वेयर आई कैन अपग्रेड माई सेल्फ. But ma'am, spending those years and spending those weekends, or in fact in the executive management program, some colleges have like a full time 1.5 years. When you're 35 years of age, they're not able to do it. And once they are having, some people choose the hybrid model, online plus a combination of on campus. First of all, ठीक है मैम, agreed, एज से क्या लेना देना. बट इज इट रिक्वायर्ड मैम 35 साल की उम्र में लर्निंग वगैरह क्या करना है? नौकरी चल रही है.
पहली बात तो let me tell you one thing. I did my PhD at the age of 40. So, and I loved it because post 40, imagine getting into a class and doing a PhD in a regular routine. But anyways, my life transformed after that. So age and education has no connection whatsoever. Number one. Number two is the day you decide not to educate or learn. That's the day when you're in a reverse aging, by the way.
Yeah.
So it is important to be able to find the right source, essentially because the transformation in the industry is happening super fast. और अगर formal तरीके से you don't get those nuggets that you need to be able to supersede competition, you will be outdated very quickly. So ज़रूरत है. End of story. There is no two ways about it.
Got it.
And what worked last decade or last year for that matter is not going to be relevant this year. And if you are an avid learner, reader, if you're willing to educate yourself through informal mechanics, great. But otherwise, the formal mechanics is always mandated because that's our specialty, no? हम लोग तो research करके from academics, we bring it to practical ways in the workplace.
Got it. So age is just a number and learning you have to do
Absolutely.
it. You reverse age when you start learning. ये दो points मैम मेरे को समझ आ गए. Moving it forward, मैम but थोड़ा मैम too much नहीं हो गया. IIMs have their executive management program. There are many other companies who are doing third party responsibility of delivering the program. You at SDA Bocconi also, you have a great program where you are running the entire show where the campuses come, students come on the campus. I mean, professionals who become students or candidates, they come on the campus at 9 years experience. Remember, हर बंदा कर लेगा executive management, तो वो rat race नहीं हो जाएगा executive में भी?
So first of all, let me address this in 3 points that you've raised. Okay, और तीनों चीजें I was listening to them intently. First one is a comparative point. The comparison that you need to make with SDA Bocconi is with the Harvard and the Kellogg's and the Whartons of the world. So we're a global institution. So पहली बात तो the comparison needs to be apples to apples, not apples to oranges. It doesn't mean the others are bad, but then the bracket in which you're slotting us clearly has to be a global Ivy League institute, number one. Number two is that in terms of the design of the program, we've customized it so beautifully that we've looked at the best possible solution for a working executive. You mentioned something about har baar kya weekend pay coming to campus, etc. And that's precisely the pain point, honestly, Sumit. I mean, when I was doing my PhD, I hated sitting in class every single weekend, 4 weekends a month, wanting to, 8 hours. So we get that. And you're in the process of a career transformation, तो वो नहीं हो पा गए. So what we've done is we've actually created 2 touch points. So you come onto campus only once a month on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the second touch point is actually an online. So it's a combination of a best of both worlds. There are some modules and some conversations and topics that can be delivered online more effectively, such as data analytics and software. So we allow you to use the software online in the comfort of your home on that weekend. And the faculty is very happy to teach you, virtually for those 2 days. And it's more effective because you're spending more time on your laptop. So इस तरीके से we've actually found the best of online and in person. You have a 70% in-person presence, 30% online presence, but it's the best of both worlds. Third चीज ये है कि आप what you're talking about in the rat race. Eventually, even if you're in a rat race, there is one rat that wins, na? So if you truly want to win, then you need to distinguish yourself from everybody else.
Yeah.
Now imagine getting the benefit of a global degree, a global master, sitting here in the comfort of your home, at a fraction of the expense. You don't have to fly somewhere else. You can continue your job. You have the faculty fly in every weekend to teach you. We're literally truncating a global program into a capsule and delivering it here.
मैम let me
And that
correct for the
come from.
students benefit ही कोई comfort zone नहीं है ये झूठ बोल रहे हैं मैम they give you assignments to finish and you're going to be coming to the campus as I've done a deep
That's
with
the
the
fun of it, na, Sumit?
yeah तो
Total
कोई
fun of
comfort
it.
zone नहीं है if you're planning to do an executive management you have to come out of the comfort zones I can feel for you I went for Harvard for an executive management program I would say one of the best thing ever happened to me was those days at Harvard. You said you compared with the Ivy League. I could relate to that for sure. So I know you got a FT rank 3, ma'am, if I'm not wrong, in global education.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Third best, yes.
Third.
That's what I'm saying. Comparison it has to be with Ivy Leagues, no?
टाइम पास
So you
नहीं
can't compare it with.
छोड़ो मैम कंपैरिजन टाइम पास नहीं है ये बहुत मेहनत करवाएंगे आपसे असाइनमेंट्स भी होंगी मैम let me just come back
That's a fun and pain. आप gym जाते हो ना? When you
Yeah.
go to the gym and you work out and you've had a terrific work back, you come out saying, yeah, you know, today's been really, really tough. But then the joy of that toughness is what is the beauty of the executive program.
I feel that only the days when they're leg days that's an exception but rest of the days are okay. Superb, ma'am. Ma'am, what kind of transformation I can expect? I am turning, say, 35, I'm representing these people, or I'm turning 31, 32, I finished my graduation at the age of 20, 21, and 22 max if I'm an engineer. So, 9 साल 10 साल हो चुके हैं, and I could be working in a TCS or an Infosys or maybe in Pavai, let's say we've got a JP Morgan or we got a Nomura, we got my ex company General Electric. And if I'm enrolling from any of the executive management programs, say globally or in India or at SDA Bocconi, क्या transformation आपको लगता है when you're teaching the students as well?
So let's look at it again in two parts. The first one is related to the self, the individual, like an executive, you know, or a person essentially, who wants to understand what's really being done across the whole globe in a way that will be relevant to their own emotional and revolutionary growth. Number one. So even on a day-to-day basis, understanding what's happening in the world is getting out of a fish pond. So as an individual, you will grow because the content of the program allows you to see yourself differently and provides you inputs like that. The second part of the growth is about the relevance of the masters that you get in terms of your career growth. So when you want to distinguish yourself amongst the others in an organization, then you need to prove that what is the value add you're going to bring over a period of time. Sure, when you move up the ladder with your own work and from bottom up, that process is also relevant. But when you do a master's program like the one we have, we allow you to have a top-down approach. कि CEO क्या देखता है? Vice President क्या सोचेगा? How are you going to look at it from the angle of a CMO, from a CTO, from a Chief Digital Officer? उस तरीके से, when you understand the level of conversations increase, what you're doing is with this master's degree, you're not playing the game on the same latitude. You're actually moving up. And when you move up, the quality of your conversations become more strategic. And that's a transformation you need to be able to develop when you're actually looking at a growth in your career. Now, we're one of the only few programs, in fact, in India that also offer personal coaching of it. Now, coaching is typically offered if you can, you know, you're obviously aware to the CXOs and the CEOs and the C-suite in organizations because it's a very, very intensive, expensive proposition. But we've also looked at the holistic growth and development of our students, you know, these executives, and offered an ICF coach to them as part of the journey.
Oh, nice.
So we take focus on career development, career cafes, ICF coaching, mentoring, you know, workshops that talk about how do you craft your career, all of that. So it becomes a full, you know, we're assisting that executive in actually transforming.
बहुत ही बढ़िया तो comfort वम्फर्ट कुछ नहीं है सी नाउ शी इज टेलिंग द ट्रुथ ये सब पढ़ाई है इट्स अ सीरियस स्टफ फॉर श्योर मैम कमिंग बैक टू माय पॉइंट हाउ क्लास लुक्स लाइक आई एम अज्यूमिंग मैम एज आई एम टर्निंग ओल्ड I'm a coach myself I love to read I like to of course but that the I would say the longevity which I want to sit in the classroom is reducing for sure और थोड़ा सा ego भी आ जाता है कि I know it all right and the day when you start saying that you're going to be dead so I read a lot of books for sure for myself but I'm representing my student community sitting out their comfort zone some people are married as well तो क्या कैसा लगता है वो क्लास मतलब people have got their kids also coming on the campus or how
for the graduation yes
oh nice
so honestly Sumit you know the first day we walk into class it is amazing I will never ever forget those first days when we have these fabulous bunch of executives sitting in the class so itna acha lagta hai the environment is that of learning and I agree some folks come in there with you know with perhaps this little bit of I know a lot about this I'm already in sales
yeah
sales mein aur kya seekhna hai
right
but that's the beauty we come there with our assumption that what we're doing at the workplace is the relevance of, is effective because you're successful. But then you're looking at your success from that pond, right? Here you're jumping into the entire ocean. And when you see examples from across the world in industry and, great successful stories in the area and the domain you specialize in, it's a very humbling experience. But there's excitement, people getting to know each other, and the bonds that create in the executive education program cohort are fantastic. Kitne jan ko to, they've applied for jobs in each other's companies when the relevant positions were open. That's fabulous.
That's nice. That's nice.
Absolutely. So growth wahan se bhi, we've got a lot of people changing jobs and joining their colleagues because they realize that, you get to see the person from such close quarters. Ki ye banda, this is the guy we need in our company.
Got it.
Tremendous amount of, cross-pollination.
Right. Of course, the CV also, not only talk about SDA Bocconi, whichever the colleges they go to for executive management. When you got an executive management, which is like in hybrid, which they're actually going on the campus rather than sitting at home and doing it online. I think the peer wala jo part hai, which is going to be fantabulous. So I always tell students like online education is great for the modules which can be taught online. Like I'm a big fan of online.
Absolutely.
Big fan of online.
Actually, Sumit, let me also tell you here that we've got two very interesting paths that we want to highlight, or rather, which I personally love, is that we have a 2-week immersion in Milan.
Okay.
That means that since we're actually a center, right? So we represent SDA Bocconi in Asia. Now that also means that if you're going to get a master's that's issued straight out of Milan, then we want to make sure that you also have the feeling of being in campus in Milan as well, and get the feeling of being a student of a global executive program sitting in Milan. Wow. So our 2-week immersion program is fantastic. You've got a lot of faculty members who teach modules there. I just returned, in fact, from Milan in May. We had sessions on space development. We had sessions on virtual reality. We had sessions on operations management, on diversity, equity, and inclusion from the best faculty members globally. And sometimes access to these faculty is so rare because they're at a different league and level. Yeah. But they come into the immersion program and they deliver their content. It's fantastic.
Great.
So that is a highlight here.
Everyone who joins an exec program at SDA Bocconi, IIMB, he's going to be there in the Milan, the Bocconi campus, one of the oldest universities of Europe, I would say.
Yeah, and the campus, I don't know. This is a little, I'm boasting, but then agar aap dekhoge na Milan ka campus, it is phenomenal. In fact, it's one of the most sustainable buildings in the country and in Europe. Yeah. Made completely steel and glass, or dekho photo bhi, when it's lit up at night. And if you're flying into Milan from Linate airport, you'll actually see it iconic, in the city before you land. So it's a gorgeous campus.
That's amazing.
It's brilliant. It's an experience.
That's amazing. Ma'am, I applied to Oxford. I'm a dropout though. But when I was there, my only thing was there to see that वो campus के अंदर बैठ के एक बार जब मैडम की
SDA Bocconi भी देख लो. It's phenomenal. It's recognized as the most sustainable building in Europe.
No promotions allowed on my channel, ma'am.
You should do your executive masters through us.
Ma'am, I was on the verge of applying to Excelrai for my PhD actually. But your program sounds exciting. I'll just talk to my team. I was just thinking about my CTO. I swear on God that he needs to do some programs like that just to uplift his skills for sure.
And it's a fabulous balance, because we know what a working executive needs today. Yeah. So it's not just theory, but it's a lot of case studies, simulations, combination hota hai. Because I put myself in those shoes, if I'm a working executive, which I am, then mujhe kya chahiye? What are the skill sets and competencies and the relevance of the framework that I need to be able to add value to my current job?
Perfect. Ma'am, thinking loud, one more like a soft topic which I want to touch base. Assuming I'm 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, I'm sure like the oldest person would be around 45, 46 in the cohort, and the youngest being between 30, 31, 32?
In fact, I think we had someone closer to 50. Okay. Had completed his PhD and was now looking at this because there's been a gap between his PhD and the next level of education. So he picked this because he was looking at a global exposure. Yeah. Brilliantly has now migrated. In fact, got transferred to France. Right. So from his own existing organization. We've had chartered accountants in class. We've had a doctor in class. So profiles are completely phenomenal. Great. We also have, young executives, as you mentioned, 35K HK, who are just starting off in their mid-management careers. But it's a variety. Absolutely. But we are very picky, Sumit. ऐसे नहीं कि कोई भी profile चल जाएगा.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street, no? You
Of
have to be
course.
able to contribute to the cohort and the relevance of this masters in your life as well. So
Of course.
it's we're very picky.
Of course. Just talking about my people here and life here. So, कुछ attendance compulsory है क्या मैम? Because 3 days a week coming to the campus, and of course I'll miss one day. Say I'm not married yet, but I've got a kid. उसका birthday आ गया या उसके school exam हो गए. Summer vacation में मैं खुद actually मिलान जा रहा हूँ, Italy जा रहा हूँ. तो if I miss on something, is it can I cover it back? How is it? I'm just being.
ये सवाल तो मत पूछो. But I mean, I represent the institute and I'm a faculty, तो मुझे तो सब बच्चे चाहिए class में. But on a lighter note, what happens is we understand. So we're going to allow you to be connected. Wi-Fi is on campus, of course. So you can be connected to your emails and your work-related calls on the Friday. We understand. A lot of breaks are available. Break time में आप call ले लो, आप connect करो. Lunch breaks are there for an hour. We close at 5. So you're not devoid of connectivity with your business as usual on that Friday or Saturday.
Got it.
Having said that, we're looking at attendance of about, I think, 70% overall on the course. So you need to be able to practically manage your attendance in certain modules, etc., to make sure that you plan in advance. और हमारा calendar तो पूरा declare हो जाता है.
Got it.
So
yeah,
you need to have at least
जिसको करना है उसने कर लेना है, right? है ना?
Correct.
This is so amazing.
And the beauty of this is also you get a chance to, to interact with the faculty. So recording चाहिए तो recording मिल जाएगा class का. If there's a genuine reason, nobody ever stops you. Health reasons are obviously understandable. Yeah. So you need to get a chance to create a relationship with the faculty as well.
Right.
So that's important.
Just a question on faculties. I know about the IMB program, the 2 years full time, the MBA program, which there are nearly 70 to 80% Italians who fly down from Milan, who are there in India, who are teaching. I know David being the dean, he's also Italian, and then I mean he's I would say
he's Spanish.
He's Spanish. I was going to say Europe, but yeah. So and he's there, and I've met Alejandro and the whole gang of people who are right now on the campus. These people also have similar faculties, or do you have a different set of faculties who don't come from Milan or the Bocconi center?
No, absolutely. My faculty team flies in from Milan. We've got senior faculty members, in fact, who teach the executive program.
Okay.
So the heads of departments, the the senior teaching professors. We actually invite the senior most to come for the executive program. Some of them are overlaps.
Yeah, okay.
But they will essentially fly in for that weekend and teach. So absolutely, there is no compromise there. We have one or two more global faculty members who come in from Australia, who come in from Hong Kong, specialty in their own subjects, experts in their area.
I've met most of them, done podcasts with them, so I know, ma'am, the whole gang. Faculties I can vouch for at your place. In fact, being honest, ma'am,
I'm from Cameroon and Burkina Faso, so how will you classify me?
We haven't met.
मैं खुद ही Burkina Faso national हूँ.
क्या बात है.
Married to an Indian in here, so we are the best of all both worlds. But yes, my faculty flies in. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Global program hai.
Most of the schools, ma'am, executive management schools, I will also represent IIMs also. They take a special care about executive management program because they're not kids coming in. They're not 21-year-old coming in. They actually need people who have actually done work, built paper, research papers. So I can vouch for most of the executive management programs in India and abroad in the top universities. They take. So students को faculty की जरूरत नहीं है. One last part, tough question, ma'am. 21 lakhs. उम्र हो गई मेरी 35. और मेरा पैकेज है 21 का, से assuming that, right? People who join the school, they come from 15 lakh package से लेके 50 lakhs to multiple. There are some doctors I know in the panel who have their own clinics and doing fantabulous, and they're doing, so there's some CAs who are top-notch CAs, we're talking about that. But मैं वो 21 lakh rupees का opportunity cost तो कुछ नहीं है, because I'm managing my work as well, like in the entire month. But I'm doing that online module, I'm doing an offline module. But I'm still वो fees का ROI मुझे थोड़ा convince करिए. At my age, is it required or not? And how will it happen?
First of all, whatever you're looking at, ROI is going to begin from the first day you sit in class, because आपको पता चलेगा कि how the world has progressed, and the fact that you're getting a chance to see this, that you can immediately go and apply. Number one. Number two is that over a period of time, when you want to make that promotion and the break into the next grade, it's not going to come if you don't have a master's. Number three is that if you compare this to any other exec, we're actually at the lower range of the fee module, particularly because you try to apply to a Kellogg's or a Harvard. Yeah. It's in the range of 60 and 80 lakhs.
Yeah.
So we've put it into a capsule and given you at this. Now, We may offer a couple of scholarships to deserving candidates and students. So that is a possibility, and the administrative team can get in touch with specific students who would really, would benefit from that. वो बात है, scholarships है, for sure. But beyond that, our payment methodology is in installments.
Yeah, you can actually.
So over 18 months installment payment है, तो आप पे कोई तरह का से there's no pressure whatsoever.
You just said scholarships. मेरे यहाँ पे, it rang a bell. So how many scholarships do you guys give? Ballpark.
We have a very limited number of scholarships. Yeah. It's first come first serve basis. Like in college, scholarship can go up to 30%, Sumit.
Okay.
So yes, we look at the profile, we look at the intention and the desire to want to complete. We look at the personality. We look at a lot of elements that get studied very intently, and scholarships are offered. We do have scholarships, absolutely.
Superb. मेरे दिमाग में और भी बहुत सारी question आ रही है. Ma'am, the Milan trip is inclusive of the entire 21 lakh rupees, etc.
So you just have to pay for your flight ticket and your Airbnb accommodation, which is a fraction. Okay. But everything else in terms of in campus for 2 weeks, including your lunch, is covered.
Okay, a lakh or two maybe, extra, maybe 3 lakhs.
Yeah, I mean, you book your tickets in advance because वो तो dates पता चलते ही है. Yeah. So we will declare the dates for the Milan immersion as soon as the batch begins. So you have a good 6-8 month notice. We typically go in May. So you have enough notice for your Airbnb, for your, my existing students have ended up going and coming back in sub 2 lakhs because they also want to sightseeing to karni hai.
Yeah,
on the weekends, you want to go to Rome, Venice.
As we grow up in life, we find for such reasons, because you cannot tell your family and say, मैं जा रहा हूँ Milan 15 दिन के लिए,
Yeah, exactly. So if you just look at your Airbnb for those 10 days and the flight tickets, it's really, it's very cheap.
This is so amazing. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to end the session right now. Before we end the session, ma'am, any parting thoughts to all our young, old, mid-age kids who are watching this video, from those 30 years to 40 years, who are thinking about executive education? Any message you want to give as a professor of a school who's guiding them from a couple of years in your past life at NMIMS and SDA Bocconi as well?
I keep saying that we're spoiled for choice, and one program is not better than the other. But what I can definitely tell you, having seen SDA Bocconi and having worked in other business schools prior to joining here, is when you're looking at doing something, do it from the best.
Got it, ma'am.
There's no compromise there, and this is the best.
Great. So what we're going to do is I'm going to review your profile. So हमने scholarship की बात की है. You guys drop in your profile. आपका 10th, 12th, yeah, how much work experience you guys have got? What are you working? Are you working in TCS, Infosys, any IT company, Prodman company? Are you doing the latest fintech roles, or are you a CA or working in oil rig somewhere? Drop in your comments and tell me your profile as well. I'll reply and check each and every profile, and I'll be able to guide you whether executive management आपके लिए ज़रूरी है कि नहीं. If there are any concerns about the program, और जो लोग ISDA के लिए apply भी करना चाहते हो, आप भी मुझे comment करिए, question बताइए, and we'll be more than happy to take it. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was such a lovely interaction and lovely meeting you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Take care, ma'am. And boys and girls, do hit on the drop button. Do hit on the like button for sure.